Yes, indeed. I totally am right there with you, Kat.
Oh,
Yeah, that 3 days is a lot, and at the same time, Dean Graciosi and Tony Robbins were doing a 5-day thing. And I
Yep.
just email that Eric Worre's doing a 2-day social media thing on this week, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, you could just spend your whole life in training,
That's the trick not to get caught in.
yeah,
That
I have done that. I have done that.
that's the truth. Yeah. Well, we've got
I'm gonna
about
mute
a minute left, or less than a minute before we get started.
Well, Cindy, you can call me at 3 a.m. I'm usually up.
No, are you kidding me? What are you doing up at
Yes.
3 o'clock in the morning? You got to sleep. That's when you heal. You know that. When do you sleep, Copycat?
Whenever I can.
Man, oh
Can I
man,
ask a question that can't go live?
it's already live.
Okay.
We're at the top of the hour. Go ahead, Peg.
Well, good morning, everybody. I have the honor of following up after this incredible weekend. I really want to take a look here. Let me go ahead and get the gallery view if I can. I don't know if I can. Let me try and see. How many of you were at the training this weekend? Would you raise your hands? Excellent, good. Well, I'm guessing that you were able to get a little something from it, 3 days worth. I mean, I have probably 3/4 of a, one of these yellow notebooks full, absolutely chocked full. And Cindy asked me to run the call last night. So I'm going to lean in on what you guys picked up on too. I'm going to share a couple of things, tips that I picked up on. I'm going to give you a minute to peruse your notes and think of something that, Eric asked us to star one thing for each speaker. Good luck with one thing for each speaker is what I have to say. But there was such a wealth of information there that my head is spinning. It's going to take a little bit for me to digest a lot of it. But, there were some people that had nuggets that really touched my heart. And so possibly one of the biggest was Marie Forleo. I just love her. I love what she has to share. And she talked about 3 sources of overwhelm that I thought were important. One was impossible expectations. And, I think it's important to have clarity around what it is you want. What is the most important thing? It helps us dig down into our why, our real why. What is the most important thing that there is for us to do? So not only does it help us clarify what's important, but it helps us prioritize, which I think is critically important to keep from going into overwhelm. Also having lack of clarity. And this was, again, something that just went bing, that everything is not important. It's like what I learned from her in the first time with Eric, which was you can't reach everybody. You have to narrow it down. And so again, she hits on, you have to understand that everything is not important, that you have to kind of sift and sort in your life what's most important. Doesn't that make sense, you guys? I mean, we get overwhelmed with, oh my God, we've got to do everything. Everything is important. To narrow it down and to think about it. And did you hear that? I said, think about it. Means spending time to really narrow down what's important to you, to prioritize what's important, and then focus on that. And that's true with every single day. We have to figure out what it is that's important and what we're going to do. And then the proliferation of technology. One of the things she does is she puts her phone in airplane mode. What? She puts her phone in airplane mode during portions of the day where she absolutely cannot be interrupted. She has those periods, those blocks of time that are her time to do what it is she needs to do. And I think that's also a really kind of interesting little tidbit. Now, I could go on, you guys. I mean, I could go on, I also love the way they closed. I love Gloria Mayfield Banks. She epitomizes bulletproof confidence. Would you not agree? That woman puts her foot on the stage and it's like, oh yeah, Gloria's in the house and all is well. Because if we could just take a tiny sip of the confidence that she has, think of what that could do for our lives and our businesses. So, I don't know how many of you, I think a lot of you are signed up already for the virtual GoPro, and that means we get a recording of this whole weekend. So we get to go back and allow that to continue to feed us. So I'm going to be quiet. I know that's hard to believe, but I am. And I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and share. And I'm going to ask for volunteers. Try to keep it down to a goal. Yeah, Kat, go.
Well, if you could have seen my office, the floor was covered with tissue. I cried all weekend. And who was the doctor? I can't read my notes because my eyes are blurry. Dr.
Sheriff, I can't say her name.
Shefali.
Yes, Shefali.
She was another one, and she said something, and Mark was in the other room going, I know she's listening, but we don't live lives, we live patterns. And I have been having all of these moments up until this weekend where Mark and I were discussing some of the patterns that I've been caught in that I employ to sabotage myself. And so that was just one of a gazillion. I could go on and on and on, and I will someday. But yeah, that was huge. That was like, just to have that validation. And so I'm just taking some real honest looks at my patterns, and I'm dealing with them. I'm doing the do. So it was life-changing, as they always are, but I think this was the best one. I've never missed one of them ever since I joined, but this was over the top, just
Over the
and
top.
our girl Denny, did our girl Denny just make us proud? Holy
Rocked
cow.
it. She rocked it. I'm glad you said that, Kathleen, because she did. I was so proud that she represented our company.
I texted her and I said, I've never seen you speak from your heart more. And she's like, oh, that means the world to me. I'm like, no, really. We were both just a puddle. She just brought her heart to the room, and she's so classy, so brilliant. I was so proud.
Right, Kat. You said something I want Cindy to hear again. It would be beneficial almost for us to do a full week of training with each person that is willing to volunteer to bring up a nugget, because, doing this in 5 minutes is like, just FYI. Who else wants to go? Thank you so much, Kat. Okay, go, Deborah.
I wanted to point out that Gloria Mayfield Banks also told us that she was seriously dyslexic. And, I think I've had a bit of that, but I tell you, seriously dyslexic would make things a lot more difficult. And so to me, it says, oh my gosh, she has really overcome. And she takes the time to slowly think through what she is doing to get things correct. The other person was Dr. Shefali, and her book, Radical Awakening. I'm very anxious to read that book. I know that it doesn't, a lot of you can't resonate with that, but she had a lot of things to say that I feel like I just need to dig deeper into for the personal growth to grasp that first so that I can move forward. So that meant a lot to me.
Yeah, she is brilliant. No question about that, man.
Yeah,
I've got that book ordered, actually.
I do too.
I ordered every book that everyone mentioned all along. Anytime anybody mentioned a book, I wrote it down and I ordered it all the way along. So I'm getting them all. It's gonna take me a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I've heard leaders are readers, so way to go, Kat.
Yeah.
Who else?
I'll
Who's
go,
there?
I'll go, Peg.
Go.
So Deb and I have been reading the Believe It book by Jamie Kern Lima. And so it was really fun to listen to her speak. and to know what she was talking about, to know more of the story than what she even had to say. But I was really impressed with her and really got a lot out of it. There we go.
Yeah.
So I'm a horrible note taker. I would rather just relax and listen to what people have to say. But the one takeaway that I had, and I don't even know who said it, but they said, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. And that made such an impression on me, because it made, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. It doesn't matter where you're from or who you are or how old you are. Or nothing matters. You can do this.
Yeah.
Ja-
Yeah,
Ja- Jamie said that about God qualifying the call. But
Yeah, that's so great.
I have so many notes. Lisa Nichols, she was really so dynamic as a speaker, and it was so interesting to hear the difference between motivational speaking and inspirational. And what I got from that is that we really need to sort of combine both of those. And we don't want to be just giving information. We want to be motivating. We want to be inspiring. And she said that the inspirational speaker was from the inside out, and it was sort of more like long term, where motivational was from outside in. Do it now. Order this now.
Fantastic, Carol. Thank you so much. Yeah, our group is in the process of reading Believe It. We've done that for the last 3 or 4 weeks, so that's been really great too. Who else wants to share what nugget? We're a little over 5. Go ahead, Copycat.
Hey, Peg,
Well-
if we want to just take the time this morning and just discuss the event, we won't do the calls. We'll just take a half hour and share our thoughts.
Okay,
You're right.
that sounds good. That sounds good. Go ahead, Copycat.
It was so inspiring. Denny's presentation was off the chain good, but what I liked about it was that Cindy and Bo teach us to look with our eyes. I mean, listen with our eyes. Well, her daughter was listening to Denny with her eyes and wanted to copy and model that. Many of us have adult children, and that's what I want. I want them to see with their eyes and make it go there. And her tribute to her mom was super powerful and moving. And Pete Vargas, he talked about your why, but he said, Simon, I got to go beyond. What you said is not wrong, but it's incomplete. It's not just the why, but you got to dig 7 times into it. And when he went into how to dig and go into the why, well, why do you want this? Why is this important? Why is this changing a person's life important? And digging down into that was so I said, that I'm going to learn to do. And then Gigi, Gloria Banks, topped it off when she was saying, hey, I find a person's not what they really want in the future, what's their hot button, what they really want to do now. That's why I've created so many millionaire successes. I could go on and on, but those are some of my, Lisa Nichols, when about the speaking, the person just in front of us touched on it real good, but speak to inspire, not to impress. All of these things were super good notes for me personally.
Thanks, Copycat. Awesome. Really good points. Who else? Come on.
I have Kat Up, the one that did the end of the day Saturday. She said, stop canceling yourself and try to avoid people that will cancel you. So stay away from them. And kill the chicken inside of you.
Yeah, I love that part. Kill that chicken. Boom. Chicken dinner. Let's have chicken dinner. Excellent. Thank you, Lorraine. Who else?
I had the whole thing was inspirational, and I also felt that I have copious notes, but I think what we all learned in those few days is that if it's going to be, it's up to me. And everyone was speaking about that in one way or another. And even when Denny spoke and she said, visualize yourself walking across the stage at the next conference or convention, visualize yourself as a new diamond, and to visualize so deeply that you absolutely feel it before it happens. And it is, again, going back to mindset. And I think all of the speakers were directing our attention to that. And so that's the overall appreciation of what I got.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Sandra. Kevin, did you say you wanted to go? And then we'll get to you, Rosie. So Kevin's up, Rosie's on deck.
Okay. Yeah. So there were so many things floating throughout the entire 3 days. And clarity was a big one. And we can't get clarity without our why. Dr. Safali, again, and I'm repeating a few things, spoke about, we're repeating patterns. As Copycat said, speak to inspire and not to impress. And to me, there's a thread that went through the entire weekend. And to me, I can't, and I don't know if we can, get to the things we need to get to without being brave enough to be authentic.
Yes, yes.
Our patterns keep us from being authentic. And that was a big one for me. It's like, that's the base of everything. And it's
Absolutely.
scary.
Right,
Yeah.
Kevin? Yeah. Thank you for being so vulnerable. I appreciate that. And you're right. It really and truly, it is about that. That's what we got with the canceling conversation. The authenticity ran through there. The patterns are so critical. Yes, very good. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Yeah, vulnerability, authenticity.
You're right. Thanks. Rosie, you're up next. Who wants to go after Rosie? So you're ready to rock. Go. We'll go to you on deck, Melanie. Go ahead, Rosie. You're muted, babe. You're muted. Okay.
Kevin,
rewind.
your authenticity has me in tears over here. So thank you. Let's see. There was so much. Listening to all of you share what you got is like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And the thing about you have to see it in your mind first before you experience it in your body. This has been such a challenge for me and my whole, they were talking about people being involved in network marketing for 5 years and how they doing. I got 27 years in this gig. And I want to tell you, I got that comparing mind disease, which just is like, I tell you, it takes you out, don't go there. And so for the first time, I actually at this event sat down and was writing out what I really want my life to be, not what I'm settling for. It was incredible. And the last thing is, I just loved what Angel Fletcher says, I collect 5 decisions a day. And I was like, okay, 5 decisions a day, collecting decisions. All right, that takes it down to a level that I want to be at. Thank you.
Thanks, Rosie. Yeah, 5 decisions. I woke up thinking about that and I was like, wish she had defined decisions, right? How slippery is our mind in that way? Okay, Melody, you're up, and who's going to be next? I want one person on deck. Who's going to be next? Okay, Judy, you're next, and then we'll go to Harrison. Go ahead, Melanie.
Okay, well, I just have to say I was so impressed with, I really thought the people in network marketing impressed me more than the celebrities. That just really spoke to me. I just, and even the fact that Gwyneth Paltrow, she likes, the business that she's doing even better than acting, anyway, that just really got to me. And I loved that Stormy Daniels said, just because it really spoke to me, you're too comfortable. You know, you got to get uncomfortable. And I really like her a lot. And then the woman that, you know, did the process with all of us, and everybody was looking in their hearts and what, you know, were you ashamed of something and everything? It just blew my mind that everyone was having the same experience that I was, you know, like that everybody had this stuff going on, you know, about, you know, being embarrassed or feeling bad about something, needing to forgive something. Yeah, I used a lot of Kleenex in that, that exercise. And I loved I loved the woman that wrote the book, you know, Believe It.
Jamie, yep.
Go ahead.
Jamie Kearns Lima.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there was a lot more, and I can't, I have so many notes, it's hard to bring it all up here.
Well, that's okay. We've got other people that are going to share theirs too, Melody. Thank you. Yeah, Kat, the woman that did the canceling process, was phenomenal. No question about it.
And
Yeah.
and Denny, really, for me, it was like, oh, thank God. There's the beautiful thing about ASEA, you know. I just, like someone said, she just really represented the company. I just felt like, I don't know, there's that heart and God and just everything that draws me to this company. She displayed. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Judy, you're up, and Harrison is on deck. Who wants to go after Harrison? Okay, Marcia.
Okay, Angel Fletcher, I loved her, and I told this to Rosie last night, that my motto is I collect decisions, and that means whether it's yes or no. And I really liked what Denny, I had never heard Denny's story before, and it was just wonderful. I did try to look up where Thane, Montana is last night and could not find it. There was a Thane, Wyoming, but I'd be curious to know where it was.
It is Thane, Wyoming. It was Wyoming.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Bonnie. And then I really like too that Believe It, and I love too the cat and getting rid of the chicken inside us. And then the mindset that Carla Pierce mentioned, that the M stands for mindset, the I stands for you, it's up to you. The N stands for do it now, and the D stands for decide, determination, and daily method of operation. Thank you.
Thanks, Judy. It's wonderful to hear from you, by the way. Harrison, you're next, and Marcia's on deck. Who wants to go after Marcia? I was waiting for you, Ruth. Okay, very good. Go ahead, Harrison.
Judy, wow, that was cool. That was really good. I enjoyed that. Her bringing up all the different mindset stuff that comes from those abbreviations. But I guess what really hit home is the gut, listening to your gut and knowing when your gut is, what your gut is saying compared to what others are. Your heart, just speaking from your heart, allowing yourself to emote. Courage was a big one for me. Being able to realize you're doing something you may be afraid of, you may have fear about doing it, but you're doing it anyway. And that's a big courage component. And confidence. Confidence in our products, confidence in our company, confidence in ourselves, that we're going to just, go through the numbers, go through the people, sift and sort, find the ones that are going to be ready now, and get back to the other ones when they are ready. So those were my big takeaways. Thanks.
Fantastic, Harrison. I'm going to just put one point in, and then we're going to move on forward. But let me just see by show of hands. So we have to believe in ourselves, our product, our company, and the industry. How many of you found yourself falling deeply in love with our industry a little deeper? Raise your hand. Because look at what difference it's made for the lives of so many. The GoPro events do that for me. They help me realize I have so strengthened my belief in our industry and the difference it makes and the possibility for people to step out of really horrible lives. We can bring that gift. So I just wanted to insert that there because Harrison opened the door for me to do that. Marcia, go ahead. You're next. Ruth is on deck. Who hasn't gone and would like to share and be, okay, Kathy, good. Okay, go for it. Marcia.
Okay. I was super impressed with the two Glorias. You know, the one the first day they called Glow, and the one the last speaker was Gloria.
Yes.
Okay. And I loved it. Two different types of backgrounds completely. Glow in the beginning was a mother at 15 years old, became a stripper, and what a background of life, that she wasn't a privileged person, but she went into network marketing and was able to make something of herself. Here's Gloria at the end. She was a super successful woman already. Okay.
Right.
And I know she's in Mary Kay, and she went to a Mary Kay party and said, I could do this, and has built a fantastic business out of it, you know, which is great. So it shows both ends of the spectrum, that you can't judge anybody. You really need to speak from your heart, as they were saying, you know, inspirational on there. But the one thing, the first Glow, and I love their enthusiasm, their spirit. Okay. It just kind of really gets you going. But the first one, the first Glow, okay.
It was actually Stormy Wellington, I think you're talking about. Maybe not.
No. This is a different one.
Okay.
In the beginning, Glow Graphics is on her Instagram account. You can check her out.
Okay.
But she said, own your own future. And the thing that she said is flex, F-L-E-X. Okay. And she said flex is she had a saying for each one. Flex is, first one is find your voice. Okay. And that comes back to your authenticity a second. Learn is learn a new spiel, or else learn more, you know, what you're going to say to the people. E is enter a community, which we have right here is a community. And then X, which doesn't really start with X, but it's experiment. And she said, experiment for 100 days without missing a day of doing it daily. And you'll find yourself a new person altogether. So I love those two glows, the Glow in the beginning and the Gloria at the end.
Well, thanks, Marcia, because I must have missed her, the first Glow. I've got to go back through my notes. Thank you so much. That was great. Ruth, you're next. Kathy's on deck. Is there anybody else that wants to go after Kathy? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I'll go after Kathy.
who's going?
Mark.
Mark, got it. Very good. Okay.
Wow. Every single presenter poured into me something of value. And Friday, the whole day, I think I was in my head quite a bit. I've got so many notes on all 3 days, but what happened the second day to me, I don't know what happened. I haven't been able to stop crying for, this is the third day, and it's happening again with you all as you're bringing up things. So talking about Dr. Shefala and the patterns, and I know I have patterns, right? I mean, we all do, but they've really been coming up the last 3 or 4 months since we started the Power Half Hour. Thank you, Cindy and Bo. The patterns have started to come up for me. And so Saturday and Sunday, that's what was happening. All of these things that I could see, including about 10 minutes ago, when everyone was going, you know, everyone wants to talk. We all want to talk. And growing up in a family of 12, I learned to take a back seat. And I think I canceled myself in that area. Maybe some of you can relate to that. So one of the biggest things for me was, I think it was the couple panel from Lebanon, and they were talking about how many times somebody in their team wants to just stop working on themselves or stop working on their relationship with somebody. Or the third thing, stop working on their business. I just need to take a break. And they were, whoever this was, and I think it was them, not sure because I can't find my exact note this morning, but that's a pattern I have that is getting in the way of my business. I will get into something and I start working on my relationship with me and I forget. I mean, I don't forget, I intentionally set aside my relationships and I set aside my business because I have to work on me right now. This is so important. And the truth is, ASEA is, and this business is my vehicle to get the life of my dreams. This pattern is going to stop me from having my dreams. So I loved somebody talking about that. I don't have to do that. I can leave all three of those things as something that I can embody every day. I just need to find a way to do it. And the GoPro and Most Powerful Women, my view of these conferences before was that it was just a rah, make a bunch of money off people. I know that's not true anymore. And when you believe that in here, that this is done to pour into people, to give us those 5 people in our life to be around that really make a difference. Just like all 25 of you right now, you've been pouring into me for weeks. I feel so lucky. So that's all I'm going to say.
Well, Ruth, thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being so authentic and real, and congratulations for finding what you're using, the method and process you're using to cancel your dreams. That's so critical. So keep on crying and keep on growing, friend. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Kathy? And then we'll go to Mark. You're muted, Kathy. Kathy? There we go.
Okay. I think most everybody hit the nuggets that I had. It was an emotional for me.
It's all right.
The doctor was very sorry.
It's okay. Nothing to be sorry for. We're right here. We're with you.
I'm so glad I'm not the only one that cried through this whole thing. I felt like I was the only one. I feel so much better now. Good for you, Kathy. Thank you.
She hit home, in a lot of ways. And I will get her book. I do have the 4 amendments in the 5 love languages, and I will read them again. And the lady that was in prison or helped the prison people, her exercises were phenomenal. It was a hard 3 days, but a good 3 days. I'm sorry, I can't do no more.
You know what? You don't need to be sorry. What you shared was profound. You got me in tears. I'm so happy you spent those 3 days, Kathy, knowing you and loving you for a long time. I'm really proud of you to stay in there and to let yourself grow the way you're growing. Absolutely honor you. Thank you. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us all. Mark is next. Is there anyone who would like to go after Mark? Okay, Mark, go for it.
You know, the first ASEA event I ever went to, I remember hearing, and it's sticking with me, that this business, this industry is a self-improvement program disguised as a business. And this event really highlighted that to me. I saw a lot of commonality and realized that we all go through a dark night of the soul at some point, or at least those people who grow and change do that. And, you know, I had a feeling that there were, 130,000 people around the globe all experiencing the same thing at the same time. And it provided a great entryway for lots of people to be okay to go there in their own self-examination. And I think that was the greatest value out of the whole thing, is that we can face that and come out the other side and not just be okay, but be better. And sorry about that. The guy who's here to turn on my sprinklers just showed up, but anyways, I think that again, I want to reiterate what's already been brought up. I just thought Denny Robinson was so incredible. I've heard her speak many times, but I think she entered a new level with her presentation the other day, and it left me feeling we are so blessed to be with the company that we are with, because I can't think of another company or product that has the ethos, the integrity, and the power to change the world the way the ASEA technology does. And I think our company just wonderfully encapsulates everything that about the direction that the industry is headed in. We are monumentally blessed.
Amen to that, Mark. Amen. Thank you so much. I just want to say one last thing too. I want you to sit back for just a second and consider. There were like 170,000, thousands of women. Can you realize, out of what Mark just shared with us too, the difference that 3 days is making in the world? We're shifting into a whole new paradigm of how the world can be. And what if it is compassionate and kind, and it's moving from a place of woundedness into a place of healed, and a place of kindness, compassion, and love. Because that shift, you felt it, did you not? How many of you felt that shift? I mean, we've watched it with this group this morning. Profound, profound. And that's what we're up to. We're not up to selling products. We're up to shifting people's lives. And that's a calling. It is.
Hey,
so
Meg,
go ahead.
It's Marina Worry. I just thought I would pop in for a second and thank you all so much for attending my event and tell you how very proud I am of all of you guys.
I want one of those. I want one of those.
That's great. Thanks, Cindy. And thanks everybody who, went ahead and put on your brave socks and your courageous pants and stepped up this morning and shared, because each of your sharing brought us to a deeper level of understanding, and certainly had me go back and start flagging my notes, brought us to tears, brought us to our heart. We're blessed to be with this great group of people, with our great company, with amazing, classy people leading the way for us. So bless all of you, and may we grow and bring this gift forward. Cindy, I think that's a wrap.
That's fantastic. Peg, I just want to say one thing, you know, your comment about, I'm so proud of the industry that we're working in. Can you see why it would be valuable to invite guests to this event so that they can get a peek behind the curtain of the kind of work we do? Because as we know, our industry is so misunderstood in this world. And so when people peek behind the curtain and I mean, that's exactly what happened to me when Bo dragged me to my first network marketing event in Kansas City. And I thought these people were some UFO weirdos, you know, and then I got immersed in the community and thought, wow, I love these people. I could hang with these people. So my perception of what network marketing was and the kind of people that do network marketing and the reality of the people that do network marketing and what the industry is all about were two completely different things. And I never would have understood that unless I got immersed in the community like these events do. So yeah, just keep that in mind with a GoPro event coming up in December, Eric Worre's event. You don't have to be in network marketing already to take a peek behind the curtain. So this is the thinking that, you know, Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi did with their 5-day event that was happening at the same time as Marina's event. This is the consciousness the planet is on right now. People want to be connected. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. They want to have a community like we've built here together. And so anyway, I just love listening to you guys this morning. So thanks for being so vulnerable. And I know that you're growing, because every time those tears squeeze out of those cells, you get stronger. You get healthier. Truly, because, you know, there's emotions that stay stuck in our cells that are not good for our health. So good for you guys for doing a major cleansing over the past 3 days.
Just want to say thank you to Cindy for recognizing the value of us speaking and sharing this morning was so much greater than getting on and making calls. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Woo!
On that
All right, that's fantastic. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good job, Peg.
And thanks, Peg. That was great. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Be blessed, everybody. Be blessed.
Right on.
Thank you.